What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. It's been a while since I made a video, but today we're going to be installing these Core 4x4 rear lower control arms on the Ram. So I install these things on every Ram I've owned. They're just an excellent upgrade for the back end of these trucks. Just helps the truck feel a little bit more planted, and obviously here I have the adjustable ones, so when lifting it, I don't have crazy lift. My truck sits about an inch taller in the back than what it did factory, so it's basically sitting at Rebel rear height, so you don't need anything crazy. But even in stock form, these things do so much in the back, and it really helps keep the truck more planted. It just gives you a little bit more control. So this is an excellent upgrade. Lifetime warranty on all these components here, and I mean, these things probably weigh double what the factory rear lower control arm weighs. The factory ones are like pieces of tin foil. So these things are just extremely beefy, and like I said, it's a great upgrade. You have grease points on both ends. Again, this is the adjustable Johnny joint here. These are the Trail series, so you can get ones that are fixed length, and you'll get bushings like this on both ends. You can do adjustable on both ends, or you can do adjustable on one end just like this. So these are the ones I recommend, the Trail, just adjustable on one end. Install is super easy. Just need some hand tools and a torque wrench, and you're well on your way. So without further ado, let's get these things installed. So for tools, a 24mm socket, 21mm socket, adjustable wrench. In my case, I am going to need channel locks for the jam nut because I don't have my crow's foot, and a torque wrench here, and we will get to torque specs as we start to put everything back together. So just some basic hand tools. Obviously, if you want to use an impact, I'm going to use an impact. It'd be a lot easier. Oh, by the way, you will need some grease as well. I recommend using NLGI number 2 grease. Won't mess with the bushings. Basically, the Lucas red and tacky stuff is the standard for that. So grease gun and what you see here, and let's get these things installed. All right, so we'll start with the upper bolts here. By the way, these bolts are one-time use per Ram. You can buy the hardware kit. I'm going to reuse them for now. I might switch them out later, but they are one-time use, technically. So this is where the adjustable wrench is going to come into play, unless you have a 24mm ratchet wrench or wrench in general, which I do, just not at the house. So pop this bolt out of here, and then this side is a 21. Just like that. And now we'll move to the rear. Rear's the same thing. It is a 24mm nut and a 21mm bolt head. Just like that, stock arm comes out of here. Super easy. All right, now for stock height trucks and trucks with 1 inch of lift in the rear, whether it's, you know, an aftermarket 1 inch lift, or you have a Rebel or factory off-road package truck, just set these things to factory length. So obviously we'll line up the holes on both ends here. And just turn this Johnny joint till the holes line up. And she looks pretty good like that. So this jam nut, they don't give a torque spec, but they do say to use some Loctite. So put some Loctite on these threads. And then tighten this jam nut down. I'll crank it down once it's on the truck, but once you have everything lined up good, go ahead and get these things installed. So once you get under the truck, if you have the adjustable setup here, Johnny joint is going to go towards the frame. Yeah, you may need to use a little bit of persuasion. Just like that, we're in. So everything's sitting pretty good. Everything lines up. Everything slides in super easy. So, torque spec on these nuts, bolts, whatever, 111 foot-pounds plus 110 degrees. So that is the torque sequence for the upper and the lower nut and bolt. Get them snug, then we'll finish it off with the torque wrench. Okay. 111, just like that, super easy. By the way, these can be installed at ride height, and you want to make sure that you torque them at ride height. You don't need to lift the truck up or anything to install these things. So I'm gonna get the rear one torqued down. It's a little bit more difficult just where it is, and then that is it. Most important step. And then after that, we'll go ahead and crank this jam nut down. It's about as tight as I can get it with those things. And there you have it. And then I recommend marking the jam nut and then the body of the control arm, just for a quick reference so you can see whether that jam nut moved or not. Just a close-up of the difference. I know you can't feel the weight by looking at it, but trust me when I tell you, these things weigh double. Alright guys, so before I end the video, I just want to go over a couple of differences you can expect to feel after doing this upgrade. So just driving down the road, you're really not going to notice a huge difference. Where you're really going to notice a difference is the elimination of the wheel hop that these trucks tend to have. So in stock form, if it's wet out, your tires start to spin a little bit, maybe they're a little bit wore down, or there's just not a good tire in the rain. You'll notice with these installed, that wheel hop that you would get in those conditions is gone. So that is the biggest difference. And you'll notice another difference going over bumps at higher speeds. Truck feels a little bit more planted. It doesn't want to hop around as much as it does in stock form. So those are really the biggest differences you're going to notice. Like I said, driving down the road, if it's a smooth road, there's really not going to be anything to write home about. But you know, under certain conditions, you'll really notice a difference. And you know, just stiffens things up a little bit out back, and makes for a little bit better control at higher speeds, going over bumps at higher speeds. So like I said, it's a really good upgrade, looks cool, and definitely something that I recommend doing. Sub $400 for a pair, and of course you can catch them on a sale pretty often. So link for those will be down below, and we will catch you guys on the next one.